Shalom, this is the midday moment. We are almost starting at midday. I am so overjoyed that we're almost on schedule. We're really close. It's kind of how it's worked out, and it probably points to where I need to get even more stringent with my scheduling, but this will show me the gaps in that and I can fix it. So, welcome to the midday moment in Isaiah 5:23. In a series of woes that is being stated, it talks about those who justify the wicked for a bribe and take away justice from the righteous man. Who justify the wicked for a bribe, for money, to profit oneself, and then justify or take away justice from a righteous man. We're not going to get into all the details at this time about the Candace Owens thing. Now, at some point, I'm probably going to make a full video showing why I think what Candace Owens has been doing is wicked and vile and evil. But with this case that is now begun, at least in the preliminaries, with Tyler Robinson, the alleged, we'll keep that word in there, I'm not big enough where it probably even matters, but the alleged shooter of Charlie Kirk. With this situation, the thing is, the evidence is beginning to mount. The evidence is beginning to mount. There was some things I was just looking at and listening to, and there is some ballistics now. There's DNA evidence. There is video evidence to go with this. Things that, I'm not on the jury. I'm not spending a vast amount of time with the evidence, but things that looks pretty likely. Actual things that apparently Tyler Robinson typed and said that connects him to this horrific thing that happened, to this assassination. It's not looking like Tyler Robinson is innocent. Now, he needs to have a full trial. They need to go through everything. It needs to be a full and fair trial. Maybe somehow he is. I'm going to put that out there because I'm interested in everybody getting as fair a trial as possible. And I don't want to just add to the public discourse and putting in people's minds necessarily one way or the other. That being said, I also have to be intellectually honest. It does look like he probably is the one that did it. And if he did, people, podcasters, broadcasters, YouTubers, whatever we call them, these folks, and Candace Owens has been the one to lead the charge, that have definitively ruled that he's innocent. When, there's at least room to say, hey, maybe he's not. We can say that much. You can at least use the word maybe. Now, if somebody wants to use the phrase maybe he's innocent, okay, fine. Until everything, all the evidence has been seen, the entire case has been presented, we can't say for sure, right? And really, unless any of us is sitting down and working through it, to a degree for ourselves, we can't say, firsthand that we know. We have to take what the experts and the investigators and the verdict and all this sort of thing. But what we see people like Candace Owens doing, and here's where Christians need to be careful what they get behind online, is it looks very much like she is subverting justice for a righteous man. Now, what is that justice for a righteous man? Justice for Charlie Kirk is that his murderer is punished. It's that his murderer is punished. That will be justice for Charlie Kirk. And taking a bribe to justify the wicked is condemned. Now, I don't know that she has been bribed by anyone except herself. Because what's the point there? Is it well, you shouldn't subvert justice for the wicked for a bribe, but if you do it for other monetary reasons, then it's okay. No, that's not the point. She has been, as they say, making bank off of this whole thing, keeping this going for months now. And, they're going to have the breaking evidence, and stay tuned because, what we're going to show you will shock you sort of thing. And it's always this keeping people hanging on. It's the same thing, the fascination people have watching documentaries about serial killers and all this sort of thing. And when we do get fascinated with the idea of conspiracy, and make no mistake, conspiracy exists. And even after Tyler Robinson is convicted, there may still be some other questions to answer if anybody else has at least some, culpability in this in some way, that like maybe that they knew what he was going to do and didn't say anything. I don't know. But understand why we need to be so careful as a disciple of the Messiah to automatically lend our support behind someone that is doing her best to get a bunch of people convinced that the narrative is everything but what the evidence points to. And, well, it's like, well, what does that matter? She's not there in the courtroom. Yeah, but here's the thing. She's been doing this for a while. It's going to be really difficult for them to, I don't know exactly who the jurors are, but the likelihood that the jurors are at least aware of what she's been saying, it's pretty high. And if that causes him not to be convicted when he's guilty, that means that she shares in justice not being done for Charlie Kirk. In other way, the principle, because whether or not she affects directly what happens to him legally, publicly, and in her message, she's been justifying someone that, I'm sorry, the evidence points to, at this point, he's justifying someone that, I'm sorry, the evidence points to, at this point, he's You have a good rest of the day. Lord willing, be with you here in a little bit for Thursday Thoughts, and shalom.